Welcome to the Leadership Lab, where I sit down with leaders to unpack the decisions, moments, and mindsets that shape how they lead. I'm your host, Karen Reardon, and today I'm joined by Travis Winfield of More Real Estate. I'm really happy to have you here. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from North County, San Diego, California.
Ooh, San Diego. Nice and sunny San Diego. Gotta love it. I've been there a couple
You
times.
would think so, but it's been raining all day long, and we don't normally get rain in October, so it's been a unique day out here.
That's too bad. But for the most part, sun all around.
Yep, for the most part, yep.
Yeah. Nice. It's been a while since I've been there. I'd like to get back, but definitely a nice place to visit for sure. So, Travis, I looked at your background. You've held a number of leadership positions, and so I thought we could start with you just sharing a bit about your background with us.
It's been a long journey. I actually joined the Navy in 1992, and I made it up the ranks over a 24-year career, and I retired in 2016 as a command senior chief off the USS Freedom. So I was basically the senior enlisted guy for the command. So leadership has been ingrained in me for my entire career. So it's been a very natural transition to go from being active duty military to being an entrepreneur and building some different businesses since then. So it's been a fun ride, actually.
But there must be, the leadership is the point of commonality, but obviously different systems, very different ways of implementing systems. How did you get started with MORE?
Well, so MORE stands for Military Operated Real Estate. And so it kind of really transitioned pretty naturally. To talk about that, being in the military, I was stationed overseas, and I went to go buy my first home actually here in California. And my real estate agent at the time was like telling me about, he was on active duty. And I realized and I learned that it does take somebody who understands and walked a mile in your shoes as a military member, that when it comes to real estate, especially, that it takes a lot of unique knowledge of, dealing with me from buying a home from the other side of the world and dealing with everything remotely and dealing with all those challenges. So that actually inspired me over a decade, that from a military's perspective, I'm sure you've heard of USAA. It's an insurance company specifically for military families. Well, that, and then Navy Federal Credit Union, it's the banking for military members. But then I discovered that there was no national brand that the service members and veterans could turn to when it came to real estate, which is pretty much the largest financial decision that anybody will probably make in their life. So it's taken me about a decade to develop this and put it all together, but we're launching MORE next month. Actually, it's pretty exciting, and the best way to describe it is we're like the Zillow for veterans, so a consumer-facing brand for veterans, so they can reach out and go to our website, and wherever they're moving to, they'll be able to find a MORE certified agent, which they will know has, number one, the prerequisite to be a real estate agent in our network is you have to have a military affiliation, meaning you had to have lived the military life to be a prerequisite to be in our network. Then we put them through a very, very rigorous training program. Whether you're a new agent or an existing agent, we still make sure that you know what you're doing in this industry. Right. And we train them not just about buying and selling. We teach them also how to be veteran benefits experts, meaning that, they need to know about the different benefits that not just in real estate, but we teach them how, like, education benefits and something as simple as if you're a disabled veteran that, you can get one of your cars for free the little nuances like that. And so what we've done, and then now package that, and then now we also verify they have a certain amount of experience serving military in the real estate space. So that way the consumer knows that they are getting the absolute special forces of real estate agents to help them with their financial decision in real estate. So that's where the idea of MORE came from. And then now we're in full implementation mode of it. And, there's a true statistic. There's over almost 20 million active duty military and veterans in our country, and about 12% have ever used their VA home loan benefit as an example.
Wow.
So my mission is to take that from 12% and make it 100%, because I'm a big believer that if you fought for our country, damn it, you deserve to own a piece of it.
For sure. Well said. Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot to unpack there.
Right, I know. Don't give me a pedestal. I'll go on for a while.
So you mentioned that, there are challenges What are the current ones that you're seeing in your industry right now? What are sort of the biggest trends and challenges you're facing right now?
Breaking the norm. Like, so in our industry, it's a sink or swim model. And if you've ever bought a home before, you'll learn that real estate agents have a reputation pretty much second only to used car salesmen.
Yes.
Because it have the lowest threshold of education to get into this business.
Yes.
So you can get your real estate license in any state. And then once you're licensed, you're supposed to know what you're doing, but you really have no clue. And it actually, that's the reason why our industry has an 87% failure rate. 87% of people who get their real estate license fail in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I would love to save everybody in the industry, but I'm really hyper focused on helping our veteran community in real estate because we're very underserved. So that's where I think that it's the biggest challenge is education. So really our company is an academy. It's a real estate training company combined with a resource for all of our veterans.
Wow. Okay. And how many members do you have right now? How many agents?
Well, we are literally in startup mode. I have successfully graduated. This will tell you how rigorous it is. We've first cohort was about 60 agents that we handpicked and strategically around the country where all the major military concentration areas are. And you would think this is a bad statistic, but we only graduated about half.
Okay.
So
wow.
50% of the agents that started did not finish it. Now, it's not because they couldn't do it, but it's time, there was a big time commitment. So a lot of them couldn't do it. Life happens, things like that. But the good news is the 30 that we did graduate are super motivated and they are really, really excited. And then now I'm launching a second. So we're going to have about 50 agents that are strategically located in every area around the country, because I can't go to the market and say, hey guys, come hire a more certified agent if I don't have agents who are certified. And so we're going to be ready to launch next month and we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's a huge feather in your cap. Congratulations. That's and how long does it usually take to bring a cohort through your programs?
Well, it's a self-paced online training program. And so it's roughly about 25 hours of online learning. But here's where it gets really exciting. We are not just a training platform. We also want to be a platform for our veterans to get into the industry. So, for example, I'm one of the only real estate companies in the country that's approved with the Department of Defense with a program called SkillBridge. Now, what this allows a service member to do is a service member who's in the last 3 to 6 months of active duty, instead of going to work, they get approved. They can come work on getting their license, going through a certification for the last 3 to 6 months while they're still getting paid by the government. So they get kind of a running start into our industry to allow them to transition from active duty to the next profession in real estate. Right. But then we didn't stop there. Now, we're right now only in California, but we're also approved with the Department of Veterans Affairs that once you are licensed, we can run you through an 18-month training program where you can actually use your education benefits like the GI Bill, for an example, to actually get a housing stipend while we teach you how to build your business and better serve our community. So that's a huge thing. That is the number one reason why a lot of people fail in this business is because they think, oh, I like showing homes. Well, they don't realize the hardest part of this business is getting people to trust you in this industry. So we've worked out a way that we can actually give them kind of a safety net financially while they're working on building their business. And that's really where the game changer is. I have a lot of other programs, like I can keep on going, but we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline to really be the most sought after brand. My goal is to be the most sought after brand in real estate in the next 3 to 5 years for all of our veterans. Good
for you. I'm sure you'll do it too. It sounds like it. If your enthusiasm is anything to vouch for your efforts and your achievements, I think you will. You mentioned, growing the brand, like, being a real estate agent. It sounds really easy on the onset, right? Just show houses, but we all know, especially if you're, in the real estate industry, it's not so easy. Mm-hmm. So how do you help agents grow? Like, do you have certain systems in place? Like, how has that been, especially with, AI and the innovations in AI and technology? Do you leverage that in your business right now and for agents as well?
Yeah, big time. I actually have an entire module on implementing AI into their business because, if you're not using AI, you might as well have your head in the sand these days, right? It's like kind of like when they say that the introduction of AI is having as much of an impact on society as when they introduce electricity to society. Yes. Yeah. And that's how big of a thing is. So no, we're embracing it fully into our business. And, we're here to give them systems and processes and best practices. I've been very blessed. Like, when I got out of the Navy, I started a real estate team called the Winfield Group. And I built it into a top producing team that serves over, 100 military families a year. And I'm very blessed that my son joined the business with me about 6 years ago. And I can proud to say that I successfully exited being an actual real estate agent and turned everything over to my son. And and that's also goes back to leadership, right? I actually just read his speech today. He's actually be speaking in Denver at a big real estate conference this month, and I read his speech today, and it brought me almost to tears because he's just become such an incredible leader in his own right, and so. Not to distract from that, but then going back to your question, yes, we are really here to help build these systems. So through my experience by building a top producing real estate company, I'm able to take all those lessons learned, the good and the bad, and then package it up so we can spread the word. And I'm a big believer in collaboration over competition. So I just want to help. I mean, because even if somebody's not in our system, if I could teach a real estate agent to better serve our veteran community, then it's a win for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest struggle for your agents right now?
I think now it's the fact that we're literally working through the worst real estate market in 50 years.
Oh, okay.
To put in perspective, in 2024, 71% of real estate agents in this country sold 0 homes.
Oh, okay? Wow.
So imagine that. And then another good statistic to put in perspective is the good, healthy real estate market consists of about 6 to 7 million home sales in a given year in our country. Last year, we had 3.5 million.
Oh, wow.
Think of it like that. Imagine taking anybody's business and just cutting it in half, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a big struggle. And also put in context, prior to the last 3 years, the 2020 to 2021 boom, that's when so many people entered and quite frankly, they didn't have to really know how to be a real estate agent. You could literally put a home on the real estate market and it would have 30 offers. You didn't know how to sell real estate because it was like, I'd say, you could just push your boat out in the water and the fish would just jump in the boat. You didn't need to know how to fish. Now you got to know how to fish. Now you need to know how to be a real estate agent. So that's the biggest struggle that most people have today is that they're having to learn how to really be an agent. And that's where I think we can really provide value to really take them to that next level to grow. And we've had a lot of tremendous success with our tactics on how we train our agents. To go even one step further, one of the other programs that we are in development, which I'm really excited about, is our More Ambassador program. And what that is, if you haven't tell, I love doing my research and statistics. The military spouse, one of the most unsung heroes amongst our members. So do you know that what current unemployment rate in our country is?
No.
It's roughly about 4%, between 3.5% and 4%. The military spouse is at 30.
Oh, wow.
We have a 30% unemployment rate with our military spouses in our country. So one of the other initiatives that I have that I'm working on is creating a program because the one reason why they can't really hold down a job is because they're getting moved every 3 years. So employers don't like to hire somebody that's going to leave. Then they're raising babies. They're having to hold down the home front. And then you have the active duty members who are working full time in the military, but want to get into real estate. So we've created this program that allows them to put their toe in the water, be brand ambassadors, connect our veterans to our more certified agents and be our brand ambassadors, while then we can then give them a piece of the commission so they can have some kind of income to contribute to their household. And that's what I'm really excited about as well, to help solve the military spouse unemployment crisis we have.
Wow. Well, yeah, it's like you're just tackling it from all fronts, right?
It's not easy, but we are trying. We're in a space that nobody's ever done what we're doing. We're operating in kind of blue water oceans, so sky's the limit what we're doing, but it's a really exciting endeavor.
It sounds like it. So, with everything that you're doing now, you're saying, the big thing right now is people learning how to fish, right? You got to teach them how to fish. So to that end, what kind of systems do you have in place? So what does that look like for you right now?
Well, through our courseware, we teach the agents how to better build systems and processes. So we literally give them the blueprint on how to build their business. So we give them systems and processes that have been proven to work. We have different levels. So we have the more certified agent, which is more of a kind of basic stuff. on how to build their business. But then we have now different levels after that. So then we have the advanced, more certified agent. Then we have the master, more certified agent, so that people can grow inside of our organization to really level up. So we're just a one-trick pony. Right. But the other thing that we're really excited about is that we're also focused on educating the consumer, and meaning the veteran. So if you think that if only 12% of our military communities ever use their VA home loan benefit, it's not because they don't want to own a home, but statistically, over 80% of our military families are just not financially smart enough to actually, not smart enough, but educated, because smart is a different context. They're not financially educated on how to build wealth, how to prepare themselves to invest, how to prepare themselves to eventually even own a home. So one of the things I'm really proud of that we're launching simultaneously is that we're launching my book called Military Money and More, which is the no BS guide to financial freedom. And it is literally every trial and tribulation that I've had in my own personal career, to include, I mean, I tell the story that I, married my wife, my lovely bride, and then broke her to $40,000 worth of credit card debt. So you can imagine how that went over. So the book literally takes you from how to build a budget properly and how to get and maintain good credit, how to invest, not just in real estate, but stocks, bonds, crypto, how to leverage all the benefits that the government has afforded to you. And then, yes, ultimately we do talk about investing in real estate. And then we even end it with, if you're interested in entrepreneur, how to build a business, and just touch on the basic blueprint on how to build wealth, and that it can be done even on the low pay of the military. And so what we're doing is we're taking this book, and we're not only going to have this as a resource, but we're also building out a courseware for the community to have, so we can, sometimes they may say, well, I can't qualify to buy a home. Cool. We're going to enroll you in our program, and we're going to teach you how to get yourself fiscally fit financially so that you can buy a home. Because we're not one of those people, we're not one of those companies that say, oh, you're not qualified, sorry, don't talk to us until you're ready. We're going to show them the roadmap to get to where they didn't. And I've worked with clients for up to 3 years to get them to the point where they can purchase a home.
Wow, that's impressive. So how are you reaching out to these people? How are they finding out about you? What means of communication and
I'm all over social. So I'm on every platform there is out there. You can find me. I have a website called traviswinfield.com that kind of is a one-stop shop for everything. You can find, the website for more there, the Winfield group if you're looking for buying and selling in Southern California. My book can be purchased there and stuff. And so I try to make it as easy as possible for us to, but then I'm literally going door to door. I've literally taught classes and taught people with one person in front of me. I don't care. If I can influence one person, then it's a win for me. But I'm doing things like this, I'm going on podcasts. I've out feelers to get on news organizations. So we're just really doing everything we can to just spread the word. But more importantly, it's network. I'm a big believer that your network is your net worth. Sure. And with my book, for example, I have incredible endorsements from seniors in the military to successful entrepreneurs that have all endorsed what we're doing, and they're helping us spread the word as well. So I'm a big believer in natural marketing, meaning that, let's use an example here, Tesla. When was the last time you saw a Tesla ad on television?
Yeah, I don't think ever.
You haven't, right? Why is that? It's because whether you like them, the politics or anything like that, but they've created such an amazing product that the consumer is their biggest salespeople.
Right.
So what I want to do is build a service that was so good that the consumers become my salespeople.
Right. Until that point, what are you doing?
Well, that's just it. I'm going door to door.
Door to door.
I'm going door to door. And, it all starts with somewhere. It's planting the seed to watch it grow. It's taking that small little snowman or that snowball, rolling it down the hill and watching it grow. And that's really all we can do. We're building this we're bootstrapping this. So I have 0 investors. We're literally just a mission-driven company that we're hoping that will catch fire and grow.
I'm sure it will. It sounds like you're off to a start here. Do some of your agents, do they sort of use them to sort of help spread the word and the consumer? And because obviously, as you alluded to, there is an education process on the consumer behalf. And so I know you're doing it, but you're like one person. And so, is that part of that agent training and that their outreach, that mindset and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in creating raving fans. And that's raving fans with our agents who want to promote our brand to the raving fans of clients who want to sit there and promote us as well. And so that's really what my goal is, just create raving fans who are just naturally want to share the message. And so, yes, I'm one person, but I'm a big believer is all you need is a spark to start a forest fire.
Yes, it's true. And I think you're a big spark. So I don't think it'll take too long to take that forest fire up and going for sure. And you said you're launching next month. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're launching. So my book launches on November 13th. It'll be available on Amazon to purchase via the Kindle, hard copy, or soft copy. And then we're announcing our launch date on Veterans Day. So we're not actually launching on Veterans Day, but we're announcing our launch date, which will probably be around the 3rd or 4th week of November, where we'll launch the public. The big thing is I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I need to make sure all of our agents are fully trained and ready to go before we open the gates to start connecting our agents to our clients.
Yeah, that's exciting. Have you started getting a list of clients? Like, obviously you do, eh? You have people that you can start with, with initial outreach?
Yeah, for sure. Because, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of public knowledge or public information out there. For example, every time you close on a house, if you use your VA home loan benefit, that is public record. So we actually have access to search every home that is owned by a veteran. And that'll be our first target audience. And we're going to be doing everything from hard mail to social media ads to word of mouth.
That sounds like a big job, big undertaking to get with. So I'm fascinated.
You're not the first person to tell me that, but that's okay. I'm not, and want to be clear, I'm not doing this for the money, honestly.
No.
Karen, people have always said that, what's your motivator? I'm a big believer in mission before commission. As a matter of fact, I have my mission, vision, and guiding principles here. I actually always have sitting readily available. And one of the things I can pretty much quote is, I'm a big believer that if you chase the money, you're never going to catch it. But if you're truly righteous about putting people first, the money will follow.
Yes, that's true. So much true. So I'm a systems person. I like, behind the scenes, and that
my partner, you'd get along great with my partner because I am not good at all that stuff. I should have you and him because y'all can get out on systems and processes all day long.
So you have someone out there building all your and frameworks.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I have Chad and Tristan, both Marine vets, and they are everything I'm not. And
but that's good. That's what you're looking for in a partner, isn't it? Like, you don't want a
believer.
Duplicate.
Yeah, because I'm a big believer in this. I think to be successful in business, you have to surround yourself by people who do great at what you suck at. Unfortunately, I suck at a lot of things, so I have to surround myself by a lot of people. But I think it's a true path forward to be successful in business.
No, I think you're right. Absolutely. It's about network and who you partner with and surround yourself with. And it's really about looking with for compliments, right? Not duplication.
Well, I can agree with this. Remember I said that I've had this vision in my head for over a decade?
Yep.
We started when we finally decided to make a decision and kind of rediscovered, because Chad, for example, is my main partner. He's the president and COO of our company. And, we reconnected back in January of this year. And that's how quickly we've developed this. And that just goes to show you, with the right people on the bus. I mean, there's a great book out there, Good to Great, right? Yeah. It's not about having the right people on the bus, having the right people in the right seats on the bus. And that's where Chad and Tristan have been absolutely critical. Like, I could never have done this without them. It's just that simple.
You're the visionary.
I'm the visionary. They're the integrators. That is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it takes to build and run great businesses, right? Like, I don't think it's very often where you have someone who is the visionary and the executor, right? It's usually found in two different people. And so that's what creates a great partnership. And
absolutely. Yeah, I'm very blessed.
Great foundations for business. So where do you think what's your for next year? Like, where would you want to be? You had 60 go through your program, 30 graduated. You have another 50 coming on board. What are you hoping to be for the cadence, and how many agents would you like to see out in the field next year? And
Well, my market, so to put in perspective, there's 1.6 million real estate agents in our country, and about 6.5% of them are veterans. So that's about 100,000 real estate agents that are veterans. This is not including military dependents and spouses who would qualify because they lived in the military world. So we have about 200,000 agents that would qualify. But to be very clear, I'm not trying to build this company to be 100,000 agents.
Right.
My goal is to have about a couple of thousand agents around the country who specialize, who are absolutely passionate about serving those who've served. So quite frankly, I'm building the special forces of real estate agents who are passionate about doing this. So, and as you know, Team Six is a very small part of our military, and that's who we're trying to develop here in our industry.
No, I think from a business perspective, they say the riches are in the niches, right? And so, it's not really going a mile wide; it's going a mile deep, and figure. And it sounds like you sort of niche down into, or you figured out where you want to niche down and specialize, and just go deep into that.
And that's it. And that is the hill I'm going to die on. There's a lot of people that have tried to do this and such, but nobody's ever gone as deep as we're going, and to really hold the ground on the fact that, you have to have a military affiliation to walk in. Because I've had people like, oh, well, my dad was in the military. And then when they came in to have to prove, because they have to prove it. Like when they start the course, where they have to upload their military ID or
Right.
DD-214. And if you're a spouse or a dependent, you have to upload your spouse's ID or DD-214 with your marriage certificate, so we can verify they overlap. And I've actually had to remove a few people from our program who tried to sit there and say, oh, well, my husband was military. Oh, great. When they went to prove it, their marriage certificate was a year ago. The husband got out 20 years ago. That doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
So that's where we are very, very much finding our very niche point. We're just going very, very laser driven what we're trying to accomplish. Because it's very simple. You don't know what it's like to serve unless you've served. And if we're helping people with the largest financial decision of their life, we want to make sure that every one of our agents have walked a mile in their shoes.
Yeah. No. That's a great hill to die on, like you said, right? I think that's a way to focus your business, and like you said, it just removes all distractions, right? You know exactly where you want to go, and it's just a matter of one foot in front of the other and working and getting there. It's exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a journey, and it's just the beginning. And you asked like, what's next year? Next year is we're just pressure gently applied. Let's just say that. And we're gonna just keep growing as I will say this. If there's something my partner has taught me, is patience. When we first partnered up together, he told me, he's like, Travis, I could tell you like to go, the gas all the way to the floor, don't you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, just know my job is going to be feathering the brakes so we don't get ahead of ourselves. So he's really taught me how to be patient and not dive deep, because I do have the personality where, I will jump to the rooftop of a building and try to figure out my plan on the way down to the ground. So,
and he's saying you have to have a bit of a plan before you jump. Mm-hmm. And then
going back to the model of your leadership, I think leadership needs you to lead. Need to be able to listen, and you need to be able to listen to people around you. And there's a reason why we have two ears and one mouth, for a reason. We need to listen twice as much as we speak. And so by listening to my partners and listening to what they have to offer, it's allowed me to lead this company a lot more effectively than I would have if I could just be a dictator.
Right, definitely. And how did your leadership? How does that percolate down, and do you transfer that over to your agents as well, right? Because from that sales perspective, right? I mean, it's the same thing, right? You can't be a talker, right? You need to be able to listen to clients' needs, what they're looking for, and understand them. It's not just the military association that's going to cut it. It's like, are you really listening to what they're looking for? And
I think that's the key. Like in this whole, the reason why we did these first two cohorts before we launched to the public is because when we first developed this courseware and the curriculum, it was pretty much just me, Chad, and Tristan's kind of collective, knowledge to put together. But what we've done is we've basically offered our certification for free for these two first cohorts in return for their feedback and their inputs. Yes. And so now we have 60 agents that have provided information to grow the courseware. So it's not just the Travis, what my experience is, it's the collective. because
Right.
as you can see on the sign behind me, I'm a big believer in this concept. And I did not put this in there, but you can see how often you use the word more. But team stands for together, everyone accomplishes more. And that's the kind of leadership style I like to have is collaboration over competition, is to get everybody to work together and having to say that everybody knows you don't. So don't be so ego driven. And unfortunately, our industry has a lot of egos. So I try to teach people to leave check their egos at the door, listen and learn. Because the minute you stop learning, because I mean, I can throw 1,000 different sayings out there. When you go in a room, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong freaking room.
Right.
So
Right.
I always like to be the dumbest person in the room so I can learn from others. And I encourage and love our agents to do the same.
It sounds like you have an amazing thing going and ready to go live. I'm really excited. I'm so glad you're able to share your story here today. You said, where can people find you on socials?
So I'm really the Winfield. You can find me just with my name. I've been very blessed to have a somewhat of a unique name, I guess, because I am pretty easy to find, especially on Facebook. I'm like still haven't let go of the military. I still wearing my white uniform on there. TravisWinfield.com is actually the best hub to find me because all of our social links are there. All of my websites for all my businesses are there. And, so this is just we're the best way to find me.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with. You said you're on a whirlwind tour. Where are you up to next? Do you have a bunch of
I'm literally going like podcast to podcast, interview to interview. I'm going out to Denver here in another week and a half to speak at a big real estate conference to spread the word. I'm then going to another conference a few days later. Then I'm flying to Canada actually to go to another mastermind. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty busy over the next month, just spreading the word. So I really appreciate people like you, like who create a platform to give people a voice. And so, Karen, I would just say keep kicking ass and taking names, and I think you're going to keep growing this.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate hanging out with you and hearing your. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I'm really excited. And I'm wishing you all the best. Can't wait to see your logo all over the place in a year's time. So thanks again, Travis. Take care of yourself and enjoy your tour.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for spending your time with me today on the Leadership Lab podcast. My hope is that this conversation sparked a new perspective or reinforced something you already knew. Until next time, keep leading with curiosity and intention.